took the overflow tank out. You don't have to at all. It just makes it easier for you to see through here. Otherwise, I'd have to stick my hand and block your view. This way I can work from this side. And you'll see this transmission line here that goes into the top of the radiator. It's held on, or it's locked in by a little plastic cap. Pop that off with a screwdriver or whatever you have. And then underneath you'll see a metal clip, kind of like a C-clip that locks in. It's easiest to take these out with a pick. You have to get your pick underneath it. Mine's fairly new, thankfully, so I don't have to combat the rust, but usually they are rusted in there, and some rust penetrant will help, but just pull it straight out and then your line should be free. Again, these also might be rusted. Mine looks like somebody replaced their radiator recently, so it pops right out, but very little hammering with a rubber mallet might help break it free if yours is completely stuck, and some rust penetrant, of course. At this point, now that this is free, you can follow the radiator along to the bottom, and there should be a lower line as well. You can do the exact same thing, it'll just be a little bit harder to reach. Keep in mind, transmission fluid will come out of here if your vehicle has ran recently. Mine has not, so I don't have to worry about it, but usually these lines are full, and so is the radiator up here with transmission fluid, so have a drain pan underneath to catch the fluid that spills out. I'm gonna have to remove the grill, 10mm bolt over here, and another one on the other side. Take both of those out. I have to take out the parking light because behind it there's a screw that mounts the grill into the fender here, and I'll show you once this comes out, but there's a clip that you have to press on, and that basically releases the parking light. It's this right here, except you have to go with a plastic trim tool in between there, and just pop that out. There will be two bulbs on the back side, which you can either unplug or unscrew, I guess. I'm gonna unplug them, that way the bulb itself can stay with the light and it doesn't bounce around in here, potentially get damaged. Okay, well, I'm going to do this, that way I can unplug it easier. And I'm going to stick it back in here so that the bulb is safe. Right here is your 10mm bolt. It's actually a screw that I was talking about. Remove this. And, oh, it is a bolt. Never mind, whatever. And now this whole side is free. We'll move towards the center here, just pop it out, and then if you follow it along, we'll do the same exact thing to the other side. And now I left this in on purpose because it's going to be held on here at the top. All you have to do is just pull straight out two clips that hold it in. There we go. And the grill pops right off. Set that aside. Over here, there's a little cap, plastic cap. Pull that off. And it's a little dirtier than the radiator, but you can see these little hooks here. Sometimes you have to work at them with the pick to loosen them up a little bit. Just find the end of it, and once you find the end, you can pull it away. Yep, there we go, just like that. You may need two picks. Sometimes I've needed two, one to pull away, one to hook on, but looks like this one came off easily, and the line is held on here. So let's just unhook this, so we can hopefully slide the lines out. There we go. Now they're both separated. Same thing over here. There you go. You can use a little screwdriver or pry bar if you need to. And like I said earlier, rust penetrant can always help break things free in here, especially these little clips. Oh, there we go. So I'm going to use two picks this time because I have a feeling this one's pretty stuck in here. Okay, take that out. Make sure you have a collection bucket or whatever you have to catch the fluid. I'm going to use a little rubber mallet like this, very small, very light, just to create some vibrations and hopefully pop it out. You can very, very gently go side to side too. Yep, I think it's coming out. Definitely. There we go. Perfect. So that's one line. Again, transmission fluid will most likely come out for you if your vehicle has ran recently. This one's been sitting for a few weeks. And now with this side out of here, let's do the same to this side. So this transmission line that goes in between this cross member and the radiator, you can push it out, kind of wiggle it out of place here, sneak it past the AC condenser and out the back, and then you can grab it from right over here and pull it straight down. Oops, fluid. There will be fluid coming out of the line, of course. You just have to fish it, and here it is. There's the one that connects the radiator to the transmission cooler. And now this other line that goes from the cooler to the transmission, pull this down. Be careful of any fluid that might be in it. Oh. Okay, let this hang over here. So now follow the lines, and then there's a bracket right here. You have to unhook them from this bracket. Hopefully yours isn't in too poor condition. Basically just bend the tabs a little bit, enough to pop the line out. And once it's freed up, or once it's bent out, you can free the line up. There we go. Follow them back some more, and then we'll disconnect them from the transmission. Just so I can see what I'm doing, I'm going to take this shield off so I can have a better access to where the transmission lines go into the transmission. So the 13mm socket, let's remove this bolt, and there's going to be another one, but that one will be a little bit harder to reach, so I'll start with this one over here. There we go. With a 13mm socket, break this one free. That goes in from top to bottom on the other side of the bracket. Shield on the other side of the shield. There it goes. Take the shield off, and now you can see much better where the lines are connected. Pop off the covers. There's one. Might as well take care of this one. Okay, I'm going to spray these with a little bit of rust penetrant because it looks like they're kind of rusty, but if you move the lines around, this line does move in there, which is great news. And I just got this one to break free, so that's good. You can just use the line as leverage and twist them. That usually breaks the metal free. So I'm still going to spray them, but then we'll grab the pick and do the same thing we did on the radiator side. There's a little clip in there that you have to pick out, pull away, and the line should come out. Oh, there's the clip. Hopefully yours comes out just as easy, because that was pretty easy. Let's get the other one while I have the pick. All right. There's clip number 2. Get a collection bucket ready just in case fluid comes out. I'm going to go ahead and pull this rear line first. Not that it matters which one you do first, but I have a better grip on this one right now. And even though it moves, it's having a hard time coming out, so we can use a rubber mallet if needed. But since it's moving, I'm going to try and wiggle it out of place. Sometimes you're better off doing that. Well, it's coming out slowly. There we go. There's one. Let's do the same to the other one. No fluid yet, but always be prepared. There we go. Fluid will come out. Keep that in mind. So I'll set your collection bucket down here. Let these lines drain. There's a little clip that holds these two lines together here. I want to pop this out and save it for the new lines. There will be another one further down, but now you can pull the lines through. You're gonna probably get caught on things, but if you just wiggle them around, you should be able to make it slide. Here's the other clip right here. Take that out while we're at it. All right. Keep twisting these. It's getting stuck again. Oh, there's one. One came out. Perfect. Set that one down. And this other one, was it stuck on? Oh, there we go. There are the lines. So I'm going to start with the line that goes to the transmission cooler. I know that it's that one because it comes with this clip here, which I'll show you, but it connects to the bracket on that transmission cooler. So I'm going to feed this through over this cross member, over the sway bar, and try to avoid debris going into the line here. And then just keep going towards the front. Once you pull it through over this shield, you can feed it up towards where the transmission cooler is. And obviously we don't have to connect it yet, but you can kind of just let it rest there like that. And then I'll come back here, and you'll notice that naturally it's just going to want to sit right there on that rear port. And before the line goes in, we have to reconnect this, this clip here. That's going to lock in the line. So the way you do that is you line it up, make sure it doesn't go into one of the holes to begin with, but rather around and then snaps in. This one's not fully engaged yet. Let me press it in with a little pry bar. You want to make sure that this is secure because this is what holds on your line. If this isn't here, there we go. That just fell into place. If this isn't here as it should be, then your line can potentially pop right off from the pressure that is being forced through it. So now you can take the line, press it up against the fitting, and wiggle it around until it clicks in. This won't be the easiest thing to do just because it's a pretty tight fit, but keep wiggling and keep pressing. It's going in, and if you watch the clamp, you might be able to see it snap. Well, it didn't snap, it was more of like a slow process, but you can try to pull it back out. That's how you know if it's engaged. If it pops right back out, then you haven't pushed it in enough. It looks like mine is good, so to fully lock it in, we'll go ahead and put this plastic cover on. Make sure that goes on the whole way around because the plastic cover is what locks in the little clip. If the clip isn't seated all the way, the plastic cover won't go on. So, oh, there we go. You have to make sure that's done. Okay, that's secured. Now we have to do the same to the other line. Take the other line, this is the one that goes to the top of the radiator. Feed it through the same exact way, over the cross member, over the sway bar. You want to go up above this steering arm here, not underneath. Okay, so that's up there. I'm just going to leave it like this, follow it back. Kind of falls right into place as well. So same thing, let's put that clip on. There we go. It's hard to explain, but you have to position it basically in between holes and then slide it up and over and it'll clip into place. Now take it, take the line, press it in. There we go. That just went in all the way. Give it a tug to make sure it's secured, which it is. Put this cap on. That's on. Perfect. So the line that goes to the transmission cooler kind of naturally fell into that top bracket, top part of the bracket. And the one that goes to the radiator is going to go on the bottom side or on the bottom hook. So just do that. Make sure those are tight in there. Over here, it had this clip, plastic clip that kind of just held the two lines together. So I'm going to go ahead and put this back. Perfect. At the front of the lines, well, towards the front, it had another one of these plastic clips. So I'm just going to go ahead and put that one back. We'll take this line that goes between the radiator and the cooler and slide it in. Make sure you find the right opening between the radiator and this lower support here. Slide it through and then twist it up like this bring it towards the transmission cooler, and we'll just let this sit over here where we go up and can connect it. Let's put this shield back, 2 13mm bolts. Make that nice and snug. Let's put in the front bolt. Nice and snug. All right, let's go up top and connect the lines. Take the line and feed it into this fitting here, and make sure that when it goes in, this little ring clicks. You have to wiggle it and push at the same time until it seats itself. As you can see, it is far from doing that because it still can pop out easily. Sometimes it's a little difficult to get it, especially if it's not at the exact angle that it wants to be at. But just keep wiggling it, keep pushing. And looks like it's slowly sliding up for me. Oh, I think we're good. Let's put the plastic cap over. That locks everything in. Do the same to this side. Now take your line, line it up with the fitting on the cooler. Go ahead and press it through, either until you hear a click or you see this little locking clip snapping down into place. And it looks like if you give it a tug, it should not come out, which it doesn't, so that means it's locked in. Let's put this cover on. There we go. If your cover doesn't go on, it's because the line isn't seated. Over here, this clip, this retainer, just secures the line onto this bracket. So we're good here now. Let's put the grille back on. Watch out for your headlights, don't scratch them. And important thing is to have your wires for the parking lights come out through these holes before you actually fully attach the grille. There we go. Now line up all your clips, which were a couple at the bottom. This one's broken for me. And then 2 at the top, basically right on these 2 reinforcement tracks. Okay, now let's bolt it in. Let's bolt it back up on the corners. And don't forget about your parking lights. Reconnect the bulbs. And the way you put this in has a little hook here that has to go into this hole. Once that lines up, you just push it through until you hear a click, and that should be secured. Let's put the 2 bolts in at the top of the grille. Up at the radiator, go ahead and connect the bottom line, and of course the top one, same way that it was connected everywhere else. Just click it in, make sure this little locking ring snaps into place, give it a tug to ensure that it's fully secured, and put in this plastic cover. This is what locks in your metal clip. I'm just going to go ahead and put this overflow tank back. I took it out to make more room to work. Again, you don't have to. At this point, I'm going to go ahead and check it for leaks. Now that we're done with this job, you want to double check the level of your transmission fluid. This is the transmission fluid dipstick here. Flip it out like this, pull it out with a rag. I'm going to wipe it clean. And not a lot of fluid should have come out, just what was in the lines and maybe in the cooler, but it's still a good idea to check it because you did lose some. So if you look over here, you might be able to see there's a cold fill and a hot fill. You want to be preferably measuring it when it's hot, so after you've run the vehicle and even driven a few miles. But if you don't feel comfortable driving on it, then just let it run for 5-10 minutes. Get it nice and warm, and make sure that the transmission fluid level with the car in park on a level surface is here in the hot range. If it's not, and if it's too low, then go ahead and add until you're somewhere here. If it's too high, well, that's impossible because you just lost some. So just make sure it's within this range, and then stick it back in. You can fill it through the dipstick tube. Just use a funnel, make sure you don't spill. Stick the dipstick back in, let the fluid settle. After 5 or 10 minutes, go ahead and check it again to make sure that it is actually full. And once you're happy with the level it's at, cap it off. If you need to know what type of fluid to use, go ahead and check your owner's manual.